Well, this is a fairly complex GMAT GRE problem, and in this video I will show you how someone without a formal education in mathematics would solve this problem rather easily. Now, my father happens to be uneducated because he had to drop out in the middle of his third grade. His father was sick and he had to take care of him and also the farming. Well, long story short, my father is mathematically illiterate because he never learned math about multiplication and division. Remember, this was like 60 years ago. Thankfully, dad happens to be mathematically gifted, so he can solve some, not very many, but some complex GMAT and GRE problems. Okay, I'll show you how. Now, before I show you this shortcut, let's switch off our technical mathematical thinking and switch on our organic, logical way of thinking. Okay, because as good as mathematics is, if not used properly, it can be misleading and can actually work against you. Also, in this video, I'm going to go over a lot of details and repeat a lot of things. Please don't get bored. I know there are people who will need all those details and repetition. Okay, so without further ado, here's what my father would probably do. Notice that we need 16 robots to fill 200 bottles in 9 minutes. Now we are asked how many robots we'll need to fill 500 bottles. Now to go from 200 bottles to 500 bottles, we need 2.5 times as many bottles. Okay, so since we need 2.5 times as many bottles, we will need 2.5 times as many robots, because the more bottles you have, the more robots you will need. So let's multiply the number of robots by 2.5. Hold on to that multiplication. Okay, in the minutes column, we originally had 9 minutes, but now we have only 5 minutes. Okay, we have about half as much time, little more than half. If we had exactly half as much time, we would need twice as many robots, because the less time you have, the more robots you'll need. If you need to finish this job in a small amount of time, you'll need to increase the number of robots, logically, right? So from 9 to 5, let's say about half. So give or take, we'll need twice as many robots. So we'll fix that difference in a second. Okay, so let's multiply the number of robots by another 2. That will give us about 16 times 2.5 times 2 is 5. That's about 80. Okay, now obviously the answer is not going to be 80, because from 9 to 5 it was not exactly half. In fact, it was a little more than half. So the time should also be little less than double. Why less than double? Because if it was exactly half, we would need exactly twice as many robots. But since the more robots you have, the less time it will take to finish the job in 5 minutes instead of 4.5. You won't need as many robots as 80. Okay, however, it's pretty close to half, so the answer should also be pretty close to double. So 72 is the closest answer here. Now, if this was not a multiple choice question, my father would probably have a harder time getting the exact answer. Maybe he won't even be able to get it. But GMAT and GRE problems, well, most of the GRE problems anyway, are multiple choice. So if you know that your answer is close to a certain number, maybe a little above or below that number, you'll be able to choose the correct answer with 90 to 95% confidence, if not 100%. Okay, feel free to pause the video and look at this work one more time or twice if it is still not 100% clear. Now, the take-home lesson of this video is that both GMAT and GRE exams are reasoning exams rather than math exams. So focus on how to think like a human rather than a mathematician. In other words, focus on problem solving rather than the mathematics involved. Okay, now let's go back to the problem, and I'm going to show you a bonus trick that most of you probably won't notice, and someone without a formal education such as my father probably will not be able to do. Okay, here it is. First, let's make a list of all the numbers that are given here. 16 robots, 200 bottles, 9 minutes. Then we have, we don't know how many robots, 500 bottles, and 5 minutes. Okay, if you don't know how to solve this problem, you at least know that these numbers are going to multiply or divide to give you the final answer. So the answer will be something like x equals to 16 times 200 or divided by 200. I mean, it's hard to know without going deeper in the problem. 9 divided by 500 times 5, or maybe it's 16 divided by 200 times 500. Maybe it's divided by 9 times 5. We don't know. Okay, there's no way to know. All we know is these numbers will interact in some way to give you the right answer. And no matter how they interact, okay, pay attention, this is the most important part, please. No matter how they interact, The zeros can cancel out, the 5 can cancel out or multiply, we don't know. The 16 and 2 can be reduced, but 9, notice the 9. There's no 9 in any other number. 9 is 3 times 3. We don't have any other multiple of 3. That means the 9 that is there will survive. It's not going to cancel with any other number. 9 cannot cancel with 500 or 16 or 200 or 5. So logically, your answer must be a multiple of 9, right? Okay, think about it. 9 will not cancel with any other number. Therefore, the answer must contain the 9. Okay, so the answer must be a multiple of 9. If 9 is in the denominator, which cannot happen because then it will be a non-integer answer. Since the answer must be an integer, 9 must be in the numerator. Nothing else will cancel the 9. The answer must be a multiple of 9. Alright, now all we need to do is look for multiples of 9. 8 is not a multiple of 9. In fact, it's a trap answer. If you do opposite multiplication and division, you will probably get something like that. And you also know that the answer should be at least more than 16 because we have more work to do, less time. So 18, 32 are probably too small anyway. Not a multiple of 9. 72 is a multiple of 9 and 105 is a multiple of 3, but not good enough. It must be a multiple of 9. So D is the only multiple of 9, therefore the only possible answer. Now this is a very advanced level reasoning that many people will not be able to do. And if you practice this and master this skill, you may get a significant advantage both in terms of time and scoring. So please start seeking opportunities to do something like this in your practice exam and practice set, homework, whatever it is. Some of my past clients were able to get their target score in as few as 2 weeks after learning these tricks. So there's no reason you cannot do that too. Okay, I wish you all the best. Thank you for watching.